Starfield has seemingly divided critics and players alike over whether it's a good game or not, with many people finding either joy or frustration in equal measure over nearly everything. But today, I want to talk to you about one of my frustrations, the UI, and give you all a good step in the right direction to fixing some of its flaws, so stick around and I'll help you enjoy the game a hell of a lot more. I'm Kinator, now let's get to it. At first, I was seriously getting into Starfield after its launch, but pretty quickly, I hit a major roadblock. The whole deal with items and inventory was driving me up the wall. Why was it such a puzzle to tell what was essential and what was just, vendor trash? Especially for someone like me, who just can't resist grabbing everything in sight. Soon enough, I was overloaded, and trying to find out what the hell was weighing me down. And that was a real challenge. One that I ran into repeatedly. Maybe you ran into it as well. It got so bad for so long that I just had to take a step back. I thought, you know what, let's just see if things get better over the next few weeks with patches or mods or both. It just felt like Bethesda was giving us the cold shoulder to us PC players. The UI and controls were clearly geared towards consoles with a hasty port over to PC. It's just baffling that they left it like this. Bethesda relies way too much on the modders in its game's fan bases to fix their games, but thankfully for us, people still haven't learned their lesson and are still willing to put in a bunch of work, for free mind you, so we can all get such a better experience. And that brings us to now, many weeks after launch, and I get cracking on seeing how the mods have all matured and adapted to initial user feedback, and from any patches the game has received. And let me tell you, in terms of UI mods, one man rises above all in the work he has done. A modder so great, he made his username unpronounceable. He has single-handedly saved Starfield, at least for me. So if you only ever install a single mod, you've got to make it his Star UI inventory. It gives you everything Starfield should have had, and then some. Straight away you'll notice how the inventory boxes are so much smaller. With less wasted space, you can clearly see more. Click right into any of the categories as normal and the big changes show a night and day difference. We have a loot table with, as you would expect, clickable headers to sort all of your loot. And while sorting by mass or name could be done in a very clunky way originally, it didn't help when you had multiple items. But you guessed it, there's an option for that too. We can add further custom columns for mass and value per stack, and they are so useful to have, it's unreal. And there are many more columns that you could add to help with any type of item comparison too. Heading back to the different categories, you can also see all items have different logos, and this makes it easier to tell the different use of items when it comes to things like aid or crafting items. And these also have their own new subcategories, and this also helps with sorting as well. And the bit that really helps here, at least for me, was the misc section, where clearly labelled with a delightful trash bin are all the items you absolutely never need to keep. So now we have multiple improvements already, but do you want more? The Star UI HUD mod kicks up the quality of life a notch, improving the looting UI and other customizable elements. Now when you find items in the world, you'll immediately see the category icon next to the name, making it a breeze to prioritize items or crafting materials and prevent your inventory from turning into a junkyard. For containers, we have a similar improvement. Instead of a box with item names only, you will now get an additional box showing the item's extended details, like stats for a weapon. And the item's value is also listed in the box too, which allows you to get the expensive items first and make the most of your limited inventory space. And here's a real neat bonus from this mod too, anti-theft protection. You won't accidentally swipe something with a single press, because if the item pickup could be considered stealing, you now need to hold down that pickup button. The third and last mod in the Star UI collection is the Workbench mod, which brings some much needed quality of life to crafting, making the whole process quicker, easier, and all while giving you all the info in one place instead of jumping through all the different levels of menus. Just like the inventory mod, all columns are sortable too, and you can easily add tracking for items needed for the recipes or a mod. Weapon and armor items are coloured according to their rarity too, which further helps identify them, basically bringing all of the same improvements from the previous two mods and rounding everything out in a consistent manner. Now I know some of these features might feel a bit like power gaming, but the beauty of the Star UI mods is that they're completely customizable. You can switch off parts that you're not into, and if you want to dive even deeper, there's a Star UI configurator mod, It's configurable outside of the game, and while I won't get into it here, just know it's an option. Some, if not all of these features should have straight up been part of the base game from day one. And I know what some of you will say, it's just Bethesda doing Bethesda things. But we really should expect better. And I get Starfield has other, probably bigger problems right now across the various areas of the game, but for me the UI was a big one. And I'm so thankful the modding community stepped up to the plate, and not only that, they knocked it out the park. Now before you run off to another video, if you found this video useful or informative, please at least drop a like, or even better subscribe. All the relevant links to these mods can be found in the description, and I hope you enjoy them. Until next time, Kenator out.